everybody, and welcome to Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my perspective and understandings regarding Pluto and the placements of Pluto in your actual astrology chart. And today it's going to be Pluto in the 8th house, okay? So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and that you, if you have been watching the series, that you've also been enjoying watching how Pluto manifests itself throughout the whole entire zodiac itself, and that it's brought you some clarity and insight, because that is the main purpose of this video series in that sense. Okay, right. For anybody that's just recently come to this video, please, I highly recommend that you watch Pluto in introduction. The reason being is because it gives you a core understanding of what Pluto in the astrology chart means, and it also gives you a reason as to why to look at it, so that when you're watching this video, it's making complete sense versus just, random sort of descriptions, which is definitely not my intention with regards to this video or this series. It's to actually give you a sense of connection to your soul awareness in that way. Okay, great. So this video is applicable if you have Pluto in your 8th house, if you have Pluto in Scorpio, if you're a part of the Pluto and Scorpio generation, and if you have Pluto transiting your 8th house of your astrological chart, okay? So, what are we dealing with here when we're looking at Pluto moving through, or Pluto in the 8th house, okay? Firstly, you've got to recognize and understand that this is a very intense placement, okay? You will definitely look at the situation and go, yeah, that's right. I have had an intense life. The major themes that come up with Pluto in the 8th house and the unconscious emotional attachments, and of course desires associated here, is the word personal re-empowerment, okay? Pluto through the 8th house is a soul that is recently in karmic lifetimes becoming empowered. So you are learning about the nature of your life through the archetype of how am I powerful and how am I not powerful? How am I disempowered and how am I empowered? And that word of power is a very, very strong keyword and association with this placement, because it is essentially what's happening here is that as Pluto is in the 8th house and your karmic story is about personal re-empowerment, in every single moment of your reality, in every single moment of your day-to-day existence, whatever it is that symbolizes something that you're not, you're going to be made very aware of. And so that brings up all your limitations. And it is through that awareness of feeling disempowered that you then confront the nature of your soul in its very deepest and core aspect, and then evolve through that by connecting to something that is very intensely deep in that sense and go, okay, I'm limited here. How do I empower myself? How do I merge with something that gives me a sense of empowerment so that I don't feel limited in this process? So throughout your whole entire life, you will notice, if you pay a very deep, close attention to your choices, which is a Pluto 8th house story, choices, it links it to the nature of how your choices are empowering you. So are you looking outside of yourself, and how are you attaching yourself to a sense of empowerment and then having that sense of empowerment define you? A great example that I like to use with regards to Pluto in the 8th house souls is that they like to attach themselves to people that have got a lot of power. And then they sort of go, yeah, Donald Trump, for instance, or, anybody, for Bill Gates. And they kind of make their choices based on how those people operate, because they represent a road of empowerment. And so this journey here with regards to Pluto in the 8th house is to actually take that sense of seeking empowerment and merging with things that are essentially taboo and have more power than the mundane, and recognize that it is not them that symbolizes that, but you yourself recognizing the need for empowerment from within, and then making that choice to follow something that then eventually leads you to gaining more awareness, gaining more experience, gaining more understanding, gaining those situations that symbolize empowerment, so that you actually become empowered yourself. To see how that works. So Pluto in the 8th house is about making choices that are consistently showing you that the empowerment process of yourself is from within. And it's a very big story. It's a very big story, because typically what happens with this archetype, and anyone that's watching this video will absolutely say, yep, that's me, is that there is incredible amounts of lifetimes of emotional betrayals and emotional abandonments and emotional losses. And these are very, very deep, that have led you to this experience of finding it very difficult to trust anything off the bat, which is okay, because a lot of things on surface value don't appear to be what they really are at the core level. So you're penetrating beneath that surface and looking at something and going, yeah, but what is your motivation? Where is your agenda in that sense? So because of that penetrating understanding and linking it with these lifetimes of emotional betrayal and abandonment, it's because you've essentially placed your security outside of yourself. And that sense of empowerment has been linked with those processes. And sometimes you would have lived lives where there is legitimate amount of betrayal, whereas other times it could have just been that you've placed your security in something, and because of Pluto's story of things ending, i.e. the law of impermanence, that you would have had something taken away from you to cause a necessary evolutionary shock, so that you can recognize that you've been placing your sense of needs and security and empowerment outside of yourself. So it's about learning how to recognize when you are instinctually idolizing something else externally, and then saying that that's what's empowering you, versus you actually recognizing that you are empowering it by giving it attention. See how that works? So it's a big story with Pluto in the 8th house. And the reason why I said in the beginning of the video that it's about evolution is because the story has got a lot to do with how you are constantly evolving through recognizing your limitations. So in every moment, it's black and white. It's like, I know where I am and I know where I'm not. And it's very much those two processes. And then how do I make a choice to feel empowered or not to feel empowered? So evolution is consistently associated with this process of Pluto 8th house in that sense. Okay? Fantastic. So just before I go, I wanted to let you know, sorry, I completely forgot about this process, typical Mercury retrograde. The thing that you need to integrate within yourself to deal with these fears of abandonment and betrayal and loss is to actually recognize that in each moment, you are trying to create a sense of self-reliability and self-sustainability. You're learning to not become attached to things. You're learning to recognize from within, this is where your power is. And so that you can do things independently, that you can do things on your own, and that it's basically about self-help. Big story with the Pluto 8th house story, okay? Fantastic. Please contact me if you're interested in having an astrology reading or you want to learn more about your Pluto placement. My website is in the description below. Click on it and browse everything that I have over there. And it would be great to chat to you, actually, and to hear what you have to say regarding your story. Other than that, hit the like and subscribe button and share the content. And take care. Bye-bye.